Omni Shorum at the Young African Leadership Initiative. We have Congressman Chaka Fattah. And what do you see coming out of this initiative? We have all the African heads of states all this week, next week.
Well, it's critically important. You know, what was pointed out this morning is that of the fastest growing economies in the world, the majority of them in Africa, 6 out of 10. And so if we're thinking about the future in terms of economic growth opportunities, in terms of dealing with some of the challenges that are not yet solved, there's a lot of opportunity for collaboration. This is about development of leadership cadres. When I was a much younger politician, I was involved in the British American Project, put together young politicians in our 20s with politicians from across the pond, created some great relationships, but we also got important work done together. And I think the similar kinds of opportunities exist here, and I think that the administration's work on this first ever African Summit, in which we'll have dozens and dozens, well over 50 African heads of state, represent an opening for our country in which it had been that our relationship was based on aid, now we want it to be based on trade.
One of the secrets in Africa are African Americans. They've been very successful entrepreneurs. You've seen huge success stories. And then also African, I was talking to a man who has a $10 million e-commerce venture who's looking at the United States now. I mean, do you see the connection, and how are you seeing that?
Well, one of the strengths of American diversity is that there's no market in the world in which we don't have people who have an affinity or connection. And in Africa, the fact that we have African ancestors Americans creates an opportunity to do business and to build relationships that can be extraordinarily important. China is very invested in Africa now, doing a lot of work there. There's some concern that we are somewhat behind the pace that we need to be. I just chatted with the ambassador, our ambassador to South Africa, Patrick Gaspar. There's so much work for us to do. There's so much opportunity. And you can feel the energy here.
So I think you're close by one of the biggest potential investors in Africa, the Hershey Corporation. And you have James Neville, who had of Swarthmore. They have like $5 billion in cash. They can do huge transformational investment. Have you had any talks with them?
I know Neville's well and Hershey well. What's important is that our interactions in Africa, whether it's related to coca or whether it's related to other types of trade, is that it be responsible in that we create relationships that